Wasps this weekend, you referred to last weekend as the semi-final. This weekend's obviously the final.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like that. I think primarily because we feel we've been on a bit of a run of games where a slipping up would probably pull the top 6 away from us, and that hasn't happened. You know, the last 5 games, 4 wins, a very narrow loss has kept us right up there in the fight, and now we find ourselves in a situation where ourselves, Wasps and Bath are pretty much fighting it out for one slot. And that means there's going to be six massive games over the next few weeks for all of it, you know, between us, that we're going to decide who ends up in that Heineken Cup. And it's a fantastic place for us to be at this stage of the season. You know, fighting with 2 weeks going, 2 games remaining for something as positive as qualifying for the Heineken Cup is great. Watching the way the guys are training at the minute and the way they're playing and their enthusiasm for what we're doing, you know, you can see that they really feel there's a reward within their grasp, and it's for them to go out and grab it now. You know, there's not masses you can do at this stage of the year to kind of suddenly change your game plan. You know, we're comfortable with the way we play. We talk about, you know, trying to be ourselves, and I think that's the important thing, is to go to Wasps and go there to play to win a place in the Heineken Cup. What we mustn't do is go there in 6th spot and be afraid of losing the 6th spot, because that doesn't suit us as a team, and that's how you get hurt. You know, I won't have any worries about the result, whichever way it goes. If we go there and we're ambitious and we go after the game and we keep true to ourselves, you know, if we're good, if that makes us good enough, fantastic. But if not, you know, if we play like we're playing that way, I'll still be happy, because, yeah, I said the only thing that can make me unhappy a little bit would be if we went there and we played afraid, because that's no way to play at this stage of the season. We try and set the team up all year to be good at this stage of the year, because when things get won, unfortunately we're a little bit behind where the big boys are playing, which is the top 4. But we're still in with what we want to achieve, which is a Heineken Cup spot. So, as I've said, you know, great for us to be here. What we've got to do now is fight and show ambition and show a desire for where we want to end up next year. It's
a question we've asked you the last few weeks, but the boys having tasted Heineken Cup this year, you can see they probably want it again.
Yeah, well, they're an ambitious bunch. You know, I think it's the old story with Exeter, isn't it? You know, we get credited with a hard working team of no stars and whatever, but the reality is these guys are ambitious. They really enjoyed the experience of the Heineken Cup this year, and as you said, they want to experience it again. From a coaching perspective, it's fantastic to be working with a group of players like that, and what we have to do as a coaching team is keep fostering that ambition, keep driving it, and keep helping them, you know, give them the best opportunity to achieve that they can. And as I said, we've had a good training week. We don't look like a team that's, you know, in the final parts of the season. We look like a team that wants to be playing at the minute. You know, I think we've got a few players here who will be pretty upset by the time the Gloucester final whistle goes, because they want a season like this to keep going and get going, because they're enjoying it together. They've had some great experiences this season. As I said, it's almost going to be disappointing when it's over.
Given the form guide, you go into it in great form. Wasps not so, but I'd imagine that goes out the window really come Sunday.
It does a little bit. I mean, over Christmas we were pretty much getting written off from achieving anything in the Premiership. You know, we were down in 8th. We'd lost a few games, and all of a sudden everyone's talking about the Heineken Cup has taken it out of us, and you know, we've struggled with big games and bits and the wet weather, and look where we are now. You know, it only takes one game to turn your form around. For us, what we've got to do is just what Wasps were trying to do. You know, we'll both be trying to make the game about ourselves, both be trying to make the game about the way we play. We'll both be trying to bring our key players into the game. It's going to come down to who can do that the best in what will be, you know, what will be a very good game of rugby, I imagine. So, yeah, I'm not kind of getting too kind of carried away with any of it. I just want the guys to stay true to themselves and keep playing like they've been doing these last 5 or 6 weeks, and enjoying what they're doing.
When you look at some of the names that aren't in the squad over recent weeks, there's a good continuity and a real hunger amongst the boys that once they've got that shirt, they want to hold on to it.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing for guys to appreciate that the Premiership is a pretty tough environment. And if you want to stay in there as a number 1, you've got to fight and you've got to play well. And not only that, you've got to turn up at training on Monday, and you've got to be switched on, and you've got to be focused, and you've got to make the coaching staff look at you and go, this guy wants to play again this weekend. He's raring to go. This is important to him. And I think, you know, we've got a whole group of players who've been like that. You know, the training these last few weeks, we've had, you know, 35 guys out there, and every one of them is chomping at the bit to get in the team. You know, we could have made plenty of changes over the last 3 or 4 weeks and brought in players who are right on form and training very well. But as we've said before, you know, if you've got the shirt and you're performing well and you show a desire to keep it, then we tend to go with continuity. And that's where we are at the minute. That's not going to change now. We don't have too many fitness issues other than our long-term injuries that people are aware of. And if these guys keep recovering like they're doing and turn up on Monday and bouncing around, then we'll keep picking them.
Brilliant.